What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoeDotJ and we are locked in. This is the recap for the series Griselda on Netflix. That is a 6-part series. Now, Griselda, if you don't know much about her, let me just put it like this. She is the person that put Pablo Escobar into the game, meaning she was on the largest scale that you could get on when it came to moving cocaine from Colombia to the United States of America. Now, before I jump into this and we break down these episodes and give the recaps, if you like TV series where you have a lot of action and it's very well put together, then hit your subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. I'm on that road to 50,000 subscribers, and I think that this series is going to be one of the videos that helped me go over that bump. Now, I did do a documentary of Griselda that's on the channel. It's called Griselda, the Queen of Cocaine. You can go back and check that out. But here is the recap, so let's jump into it. Episode 1 of Griselda on Netflix. When we start the episode off, we see Griselda running around. Now, she is in the bathroom and she's taping herself up because it appears that she has a bullet wound in her side. Now, what she does is she calls her sister, who is in the United States, and tells her, hey, can me and the boys come and stay with you? Now, Griselda does have 3 sons, and she's about to relocate them from Colombia up to the United States because she was shot, and you know that she is into some trouble with some very, very dangerous people down here in Colombia. Griselda got confirmation from her sister that she can come up here and stay for a little bit, even though it's a small house and it's her and her 3 boys. She knows that this is the move that she has to make. Now, you can hear her youngest son, Michael, saying, Mom, I don't want to go to Miami. I don't want to go to Miami. I want to stay here. The other brothers are asking, where's their papa? Well, she's getting low and she has to get out of Dodge. And when you're on the run, there's no time to look back or answer any specific questions. You just have to go. Griselda is laying down the ground rules to her sons about staying with Carmen and being respectful. Now, I have mentioned Carmen as being her sister, but it's not really her actual sister. It's just someone she knew that was from Colombia and they hung out. Now, of course, the boys don't really want to be here, but you got to make this adjustment because she was shot. And if you were in Colombia around that time, you know that it's very dangerous. So she's telling them to be respectful, put the toilet seat down, and no cursing around the house. And they definitely have to learn some English if they're going to be here in the States. Now, Carmen is very, very understanding, but she also knows that Griselda has a past, and in that past was her moving dope. So they go out and have a couple of drinks, smoke a cigarette, and they're just talking. And Griselda is saying, I'm trying to change up my life. And if you don't want me being here because you know about my past, then just let me know and I'll go to a hotel. Now, Carmen is saying, no, I can't let you do that, but I can also get you a job. You can come work with me, but you have to put the past in the past. Basically, she's saying you cannot be moving drugs anymore. Let's go legit. Let's get you a job, and I got you right. Now, everything that Griselda said out at the dinner sounded good. But one thing we know about drug dealers is once they're in the game, they're always in the game. Now, Griselda smuggled back 1 brick. That's all she could get. But this 1 brick will be enough money to get her on her feet. So she smuggled this, and she's going to do one last deal to make some money to actually get her a jump start in her new life down in Florida. Griselda goes to work with Carmen. While she's sitting there, she's smoking a cigarette, and all she can think about is moving that 1 brick to put some money in her pocket. Now, she calls up this gentleman, Arturo, who has his own business going, and she lets him know, I got 1 brick and I want to sell it. Now, he doesn't want to know anything about her, so if someone asks, he can just deny it because he doesn't know. But the first thing she says is, me and the kids are good and I'm in Miami. Now, she's asking about a guy named Manny who had a lot of action in Miami. Arturo knows exactly who she's talking about and tells her he's at a place called the Mutiny. Now, this is so she can go in there and sell one of the purest bricks to put some money in her pocket. During lunch, she goes down to the local diner. While she's in there eating, she sees the manager come over and talk to the waiter and tells him to re-wipe the table. Now, what she does notice is that this gentleman speaks some Spanish, and she can realize that his accent, and she asks, is he Colombian? And he's like, yes, he is. So for her, she finally has somebody that she can talk to outside of Carmen and her kids, and she's starting to build relationships, but she also knows that she needs some help with moving that 1 brick. Later on that night, she goes to Club Mutiny and she's looking for Manny. She's trying to find the connect and trying to find out how she can make a way in to actually talk to him to give him a little sample of the purest cocaine that they've ever had in Miami. Griselda's still trying to find her way in, and her way in is through this junkie slash dealer named Johnny. But you got to remember, back then, everybody was on cocaine. She bumped into him. She ends up getting a conversation with him, and she gives him a free sample. Now, this cocaine is very, very pure. So once he hits it, he's like, oh man, I need to go in and introduce you to the boss man, because she tells him that she has 1 kilo and she's willing to sell it. Johnny makes the introduction to his boss, to Griselda, and once they're over there, they're kind of treating Johnny, as I mentioned earlier, like a little junkie, aka a flunky. Well, they get him out the way, and Griselda sits down and they start talking business. Well, his dad is driving a brand new Cadillac. They're living the American dream. But what he does tell Griselda is, what can I do with 1 kilo? I move a lot of work. I move in volume. So she's saying, well, I just need to sell this one and get on my feet. I smuggled this one over here and this is all I want. But he's looking at that like, go ahead and leave. Take Johnny with you. That isn't enough for me to even crack a smile to. Once they get outside, Johnny has a craving for more of the cocaine. And since he feels like he got embarrassed in front of his boss, he tells her to give him the key. And she says she doesn't have it. Well, once he pulls the gun out, she goes to the trunk and she gives him the cocaine. Well, she had to. What's the procedure when you have a gun in your face? Griselda and her husband show up in a flashback. And well, Alberto's brother, Fernando, they lost his shipment, 2 of them in New York, $500,000. Well, when they get here, Griselda finds out that they're not going to a party dinner and that they're actually in debt. But the only way they can get out of this debt is Fernando's always had a thing for her, and he wants to sleep with Griselda to wipe $500,000 off. Well, she definitely doesn't want to go through with this, but when you're in the dope game, your life is on the line every single moment. So she takes a couple of drinks and she enters into the house because at this point, life is on the line. Now, back in the present day, Griselda, she's still trying to recover from what happened. Johnny stole that brick. Well, she's been waiting around to see where Johnny is at. She's been waiting for him to make a drop. And what does she do? She comes outside with a bat and starts delivering blows to our boy Johnny. Johnny goes down. She's tearing his kneecap up. He's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. All right, all right. I'll bring you back in on this deal. This is the dope game, people. You have to remember, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Well, Johnny ain't giving up like that, and he knows where Griselda works. So he shows up at her job and tells her, I got a meeting set up for us to sell that 1 brick. Now, Carmen comes out and says, what meeting? Griselda's saying, oh, nothing. Johnny says, well, you know, she sells cocaine, right? Johnny ain't playing around. He needs to make this money, and Carmen fires her on the spot. It's basically like, you got to get out the house. So at this point, Griselda is back in the game. Griselda goes back to the diner and she's talking to Chucho, the busboy. Remember, he was wiping off the tables. Now the manager comes over and says, get back to work. Where Griselda sticks up for him and says, nah, this is my brother. We're going to talk. Now what she's here for is she's trying to hire him so he can make some money. There's a $20,000 brick and she's saying that she'll pay him to be security. Not real security, but security to just look big and be tough. And a little intimidation factor so it won't look like she's inexperienced when it comes to moving this work. Now he's looking at his manager. He looks back at Griselda and he's like, he's in. You just want me to stand around and look like security? I can do that. The meet is set up. Johnny is waiting with Eddie. Griselda shows up with Chucho and it's time to go. He got a brand new suit. He got a gun and he's ready to go, holding the door open. As Griselda gets out, it looks official. Well, the brick is going for $25,000 for 1 kilo. Now, this guy, Eddie, he ain't trying to hear that. Eddie does want the cocaine, but he ain't trying to hear 25,000. Griselda is playing it very, very smoothly. She's not nervous. She got security behind her. Johnny's at the bar. And for him, he's interested in Griselda, but he's not pushing up on her. He does have a weird request, and that's for her to touch his nose. And once she does that, he says, oh yeah, I'll do 25,000. You want to have a dance with me to celebrate this brick? While Eddie and Griselda are dancing, if you remember Johnny's boss, Amilcar, well, he sends his people over here. And the bodyguard that stopped Johnny from getting in the VIP, he pulls his gun out and he starts shooting everybody. I'm talking about it's going down in here. Griselda jumps behind the counter. Chucho, he shoots a guy in the head. They fall on him and it's just shooting everywhere. And the bodyguard grabs the brick and he leaves the building. He tells Griselda to go home. Griselda gets in her car and starts counting the money that was left. And she has another flashback about the night after she smashed Fernando to clear their debt. Now, Alberto, he's talking to her and he's telling her, good, you did that. We're good to go. Griselda doesn't want anything to do with him. So as they go outside, he follows her, grabs her and tells her she's a mother of three. She's never going to be able to do anything out here without him. Well, this is when it goes down. Griselda grabs her gun and she kills Alberto. She also shoots his bodyguard. Everybody's getting laid down. And this is where Griselda gets shot that we seen in the beginning of the episode. So this is leading up to what happened in the very beginning. She gets shot, rides home, gets her kids, and they fly to Miami. Griselda returns back to the club because she got to go talk to Amilcar about the brick that he took that was hers. Well, when she gets there, he sits down, they cut the brick open, and he tries a sample of it. And what she's trying to tell him is, listen, this is the purest coke that there is in Miami, and we can make a lot of money. Now, he already said that he deals in volume. And what he does tell her is, I'll make you my supplier, but you got to double the order that I already have. So now Griselda is officially in the game. In episode 1, gave us that action that we were looking for. And it's time to make some moves and call up Arturo and get some more work. There you go. Episode 1 recap of Griselda. Let me know what you think about this. I'm feeling the series. I think the series is going to be very, very good. I know my recap has came out a little bit late, but we're getting it taken care of. Let me know what you rate this and how much do you know about Griselda. I'm MoeDotJ. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I also have the full documentary I watched on there. Just search The Godmother of Cocaine, Griselda Blanco. It's on my channel. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm out.